All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Makakadash. Yahweh's name, the Heavenly Father, it means He is. Yahweh Shai is the name of His Son. It means He is who saves. Hakadash is the name of the Holy Spirit in Hebrew. So, there's a lot of confusion going around at the moment because people are seeing lots of UFOs, so-called UFOs, UAPs, whatever because I think in the very first instance they used to call it UFO because they weren't sure. They thought it was a flying object, but now they've called it aerial phenomena, UAPs, because they don't know if things could be classified as flying or levitating or what, because of some of the things that these things have been able to do. One of the things that they said it was the so-called object was is these objects remain perfectly still in Category 4 hurricane winds. These objects accelerated to supersonic speeds. Just seeing what else they said. UFO program. UFO wreckage. Now they believe this UFO wreckage business, right? So what I mean in terms of, let's get the scriptures. Let's have a quick look. Let's see if we can find the scripture. I want to see dismayed at the signs of heaven. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So it's at this moment that these things are happening in the sky, and then people are getting confused. They're saying, what the hell? Aliens, whatever. You know, how do we get aliens? Where did these aliens come from? But these so-called UAPs have been in the Bible for years, and now they've kind of got to them they've kind of got them situation into a situation of cognitive dissonance. Now they're, on the one hand, they want to say that the Bible's all hocus pocus, but on the other hand, they're seeing it for themselves. And this, in a sense, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it. You're gonna have to choose one or the other. You know, shit or get off the pot. You know, what is it? I want to see these chariots of fire. I think it's in Ezekiel's chariots of fire. Let's see if it's there. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger and fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So it said that he's going to come like that. The chariots was the only vehicle in those days, I believe. So when they're talking about chariots, like their personal vehicle, we would call it what we'd call a car right now, but in back in the day, they used to call them chariots, right? So 2 Kings 6:17. And Elisha prayed, and Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, behold, the mountain was full of horses, and the chariots of fire around Elisha. So again, he opened his eyes, and he could see all these chariots of fire. I.e., chariots being, you know, they didn't have the word car in back in the day because it hadn't been invented yet. So the best translation they could use for personal vehicles were chariots, right? And when they talk about seeing it around the mountain and in the whirlwind, these are things that were in the skies. So you can see in what was the scripture? 2 Kings 2, and some, as they were working along as they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind. So these are things, fiery things in the sky, that are flying, obviously in the Bible. And then there's Ezekiel 10 and 22, if I can get it. Let's go back. Just find it. Was it 22? Oh no, it's about 10 and 12 or something. And he spake, and I looked, and behold, the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims appeared over them. It was a sapphire stone, and the appearance was likeness as of a throne. And he spake unto the man with linen, and said, Go in between the wheels, even under the cherub. So I think it's even Ezekiel 9, maybe. Or somewhere in Ezekiel. Let me find it. Let me see, chariot. Ezekiel. Well, there's all these visions. I think it's Ezekiel. I can't really find the correct scripture for it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. I think it's 8. And there was appeared in the cherubims the form of a man's hands under the wings. And when I looked, behold, 4 wheels by the cherubim, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub. And the appearance of the wheels was like the color of beryl stone. So basically, there are lots of scriptures that talk about so-called UAPs. But as we know, Esau's mindset is that his house is going to continue forever, and he stands as a queen, and he's told everybody that these stories aren't true. And now, as Tars says, you got a lot of explaining to do, because these things are coming to pass, these things are manifesting themselves, and everybody that's followed that path of wickedness is getting confused. They're like, oh shit, what if the Bible is true? But then at the same time, they can't reconcile themselves to that possibility. So they're continuing in this kind of self-inflicted state of cognitive dissonance. So be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, because the heathen are dismayed at them. This last scripture I want to get, which is, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. I can't remember the actual phrase. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. And that's partly looking up to the sky, right? And they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud of great power and glory. Where are the clouds in the sky? I mean, where is this going to happen? Let's get a bit more. And they shall fall from 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led captive away to all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And that's where we are now. Esau is falling down. This time that he's been given, this dragon that has been loosed for a short time, it's come to the end. It's been fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, the distress of nations with perplexity. You see? Yeah, and so now people are getting confused. They start to say, oh shit, what's going on? But they don't get it. They don't see. They can't see. Men's heart failing for fear and for looking after those things which are coming onto the earth. They're trying to look after. When he's saying looking after, it's like looking into, trying to understand what's happening. What the hell's where are these chariots coming from? For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and that means the people in control, the people, the big bosses, the I don't know what you want to call it, the rich families, the Bilderbergs, the powers that be, whatever you want to call it, the man, they're getting shaken because now they've been told they're not the boss. There's something out there that has chariots that can stand perfectly still in a Category 4 hurricane. They can come, leave the atmosphere and come back at supersonic speeds. 27, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud of great power and glory, with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And that's where we are now. You know, the last lesson I did, I tried to chat about where we are, but this is kind of really putting a nail on the head. Anyway, with that, I want to say shalom.